Bobby is a landlord in Detroit, and he's been renting out an apartment to a tenant named Kevin. For the last 3 months, Kevin hasn't paid rent. On top of that, Kevin has become aggressive. He's yelling at other tenants, damaging parts of the property, and even threatening Bobby during visits. Bobby tries to schedule repairs, but Kevin refuses to let workers into the unit, making it impossible to fix the issues. At this point, Bobby needs to act quickly to protect his property and other tenants.
Now, one of the things I really like about case studies is that, for the most part, it gives us an example of what an ideal situation looks like. And in this situation, it's truly what is happening and is actually quite common currently in Detroit, Michigan, to see these scenarios where you have a landlord who has sympathy or is empathetic or waiting and hoping through these promises to pay that the tenant is going to pay one day. And then what happens? They don't pay. They just don't pay. You know what happens next? They mess up your stuff, right? So now you can't go inside and you can't fix nothing, and you are very concerned about what is going to happen to your property when they move out because Kevin just didn't pay. Well, my biggest suggestion and first suggestion is, if Kevin hasn't paid rent in 3 months, that you should actually do, you being the property owner, should actually file a recovery of possession landlord-tenant case. Some people are going to say, well, why would I do that, right? Because a non-payment means I get my rent money. Okay. Well, if Kevin didn't have it for the last 3 months, he likely don't have it for the future next 30 to 90 days, which is how long it's going to take you potentially to get your property back. So if it takes, let's say, 90 days to get your property back, that means Kevin didn't pay 3 months before you started the process, and Kevin didn't pay 3 months after. That's 6 months of non-payment. Do you honestly think in this day and time Kevin got 6 months of rent? No. And then even if Kevin was to get a refund check from, let's say, filing taxes, will Kevin give you all his refund money for the rent? No. So, my suggestion, file a recovery of possession case. Mind business. So, what that means is, I want my property back and I don't want the money. I don't want the money. Yes, there's 2 steps to the process. One, just give me my stuff back, okay? My mama might be watching this, so I ain't gonna cuss. Give me my back, okay? So, if I go forward and say, all right, Kevin, well, you know what? Guess what? I just want my property back. I need you to get out. I'm going to file this eviction case called a recovery of possession. It includes a 30-day demand. Hey, you have 30 days to move out. Failure to move, I'm going to proceed with my summons and complaint and file it in the court for this eviction process to start. Get a court order to have you removed by a day certain, or voluntarily still moved by a day certain. And then if you fail to move on that day, we're going to have a writ filed, and then have the bailiff and all of his great friends come and remove all your personal belongings out of the home. That's step 1, right? The alternative to that as well is the landlord is also able, believe it or not, after you get your property back, and after you're able to assess all of the damages that Kevin likely did to your property after you started this eviction case and knocked out some walls and tore up the floors, because this is the kind of stuff people be doing, you know, because they like damaging your stuff when you let them borrow it. You remember Indian givers. I give it to you for a period of time, and when we was the kids, okay, I want my stuff back, and they be like, no, I won't give it. No, you're going to give it back because I own it, right? And that's property owner. Lease, lessee. You borrow from me, give it back. Follow me? So, after Kevin is evicted and removes all of his personal belongings, and Bob, you have the authorization to go in by a court order to check what's going on with your property, and you see all these damages. Did you know that you are able to sue on a collections case Kevin for all the past due rent and all the damages that he done to the property, and you got your property back? Now you get the best of both worlds. You are able to get your property back through the eviction without having to do repair orders, without having to go through, these significant dismissals that seem to be happening these days with these court-appointed attorneys that are helping tenants with their rights. and the landlord is suffering financially. Well, you get your property back sooner, and then you get to sue on the back end for the same money that you would have tried to get during the eviction case when they had a court-appointed attorney. For many cases, in the collections case, they may not get a court-appointed attorney. You may be able to file that case without getting legal help by going to small claims court. If they owe under $6,500 in rent and property damages, you can do that all by yourself and still be able to figure out a way to get your money back and get your property back, re-rent it, and move on. Kevin did not value your property as much as you do, but that's okay, because I'm here to help. We represent landlords, property owners like you, to help you figure out what is the best strategy. Do I do a recovery of possession? Do I do a non-payment of rent? Do I need to fix the title on my property? What can the law help me do to get the best out of the scenario? Because, I get the property owners, look, I'm just trying to, help the community, leave something for my kids, create a legacy, looking out for the neighborhoods, because there's a lot of blighted properties in Detroit. So let me help you help the community in different ways.